This is the first inaugural podcast. We're just waiting here. Got some technical difficulties. Of course, first one. In the silence. Jesus. Give me 1 second here. Hello?
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are live, sir.
Right. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine. So yeah, okay. So we are live here. This is the first in the new series of Buddy Shotz. So how are you, Matt?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, that was a good podcast.
All right.
See you guys
See you
next
at school on Monday.
So
It's been a while.
it's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while. I can't remember what was the last time we actually did a podcast. Can you remember? Or
Maybe a couple years ago.
yeah, it's been a while. Like legit. So it's been so long that I think that we actually did a Terminator retrospective in the last series, and they hadn't even. I think maybe the newest one had just come out, and it wasn't Dark Fate. It was or maybe the new one was just about to come out. But what was that one called?
That sounds right. Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis. So.
Unfortunately, not about Bill Clinton.
Or even about the fucking scriptures in the Bible. So, do you have any shout outs or anything before any shit before we start this, sadly?
Shout out to the Terminator franchise for ending.
Yeah.
The results are in. It's over.
So that's just, I guess, a preview of what's to expect tonight. Do you have any news or anything that you've heard of, or just in general, or
Martin Scorsese?
Did he die?
Talk about that debacle.
Oh yeah. Actually, I have a shout out here before we start getting. Shout out to Julie. It's her birthday today, and tomorrow is our 6-year anniversary. Yeah, 6-year anniversary. So just
nice.
get it out of the way. Good stuff. But
Congrats.
Congratulations are in order for good times. So you were saying Martin Scorsese?
Well, yeah, he said that like he hates all the Marvel movies.
Right. Yeah, I heard about that a while back. What are
he
people like shitting on him?
He
or
made
something?
everyone angry.
Yeah.
All the Marvel fans.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't get why people make arguments like that. Like, no one's ever gonna win.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a waste of energy.
Yeah. It's kind of
You're never gonna convince a Marvel fan that those movies aren't good or that they're not valuable.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be like, oh, you are right.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, like movies they can be art or they can be entertainment, and it's like, what does it matter? You know what I mean? Like you were saying, so like that's why I really don't get messed around with politics and stuff, is because it's like, especially in this day and age, you're never gonna convince somebody that's like, whatever their orientation is, that they're gonna switch just by like, you know what I mean, trying to argue your point. Like no one's gonna switch views.
Yeah.
So
I find it weird that people spend so much time and energy like arguing about this stuff, mainly online, which is just a waste of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I like, weird art movies too, but I also like House Guest starring Sinbad.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
it's okay to, like anything.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree with you. I think that too many people try to prove their point to be justified in what they like, and it's like you should just like what you like, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
And we should do a podcast about House Guest, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I have to rewatch it. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It holds up.
The McDonald's commercial movie.
Yeah, I rewatched it a few years ago. It holds up.
Sinbad's great. Phil
Hartman's great in it too.
Yeah, I just wish that he kept making movies, Sinbad or whatever. I feel like he hasn't really done anything in a while. He was really good.
Between that and Jingle All the Way, he was on fire.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't remember anything else he was in, but can you?
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I have that information at my fingertips.
Yeah, man.
On the World Wide Web. I'm about to get out.
Look at this. Well, we're. I think when we did this last time, we actually recorded it on my video camera, and then I would like upload it later, and like now we're doing it live, and we're both by a computer, whereas before I think only you might have had a computer. So
it's probably better to not be looking at your computer. But
well, I mean, I think that like if we're looking at our computers, we're able to like get the information. Yeah, and we can make the podcast more entertaining instead of just being like, well.
So the last movie he was in was Small Soldiers, which didn't really do much for me.
Another Phil Hartman venture.
Came out.
What did he? Who did he play in that?
Wasn't he the dad in that?
Oh, are you talking Phil Hartman?
Yeah. What did I say?
Oh, I was wondering when was the last time Sinbad was in something, because obviously Phil Hartman is dead, so he's wish he would have kept acting.
You're like, what's up with that guy?
Yeah, it's like he's fucking worm food. Yeah, which that's another tragedy. I feel like that happened when we were in school, and then also, I mean, before that was Chris Farley, right? So it was like we lost two classic SNL like guys that went on to be like huge stars, and it was like, I mean, like Phil Hartman was like a Simpsons. He made so many Simpsons classic characters that it's like, like who is it? Like Troy McClure, Lionel Hutz, and he had a couple other people too, but like he had all these like skeezy guys on the show. Actually,
good.
This is the Phil Hartman podcast now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how it
played
goes.
Troy McClure, Lionel Hutz, and Bill Clinton.
Okay, I could see that, because I think I remember him doing Bill Clinton impressions back in the day.
On SNL.
Yeah.
Sinbad hasn't been in anything that I been familiar with in like 20 years.
Good old Sinbad.
He was in Planes. I guess that's something.
Oh, like the Disney
Cars,
Pixar thing?
but with planes. Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched that one. I saw Cars 1 and I was like, okay, this is okay. But, like, there was never a need for me to be like, let's see a movie with planes. It's like, well, where the fuck is a movie about boats? Then we can just have a Diddy Kong racing fucking movie.
And now I wish this was a video podcast, because if you go to Sinbad's page on IMDb,
mm-hmm.
there's a picture of him and Arnold from Jingle All the Way, and the look on Arnold's face is really weird.
Well, let me see here. I might be able to pull it up because this is on Twitch, so this is a video podcast to a degree. The only thing that's not video about it is like you're not like obviously like in here on webcam or anything. So let's see here. What are we doing here? IMDb for Sinbad. Does he have a last name or is it just Sinbad?
It's just Sinbad.
Okay, let's see here. God damn it.
What's up with that?
Which one is it? You said it's a picture of Arnold?
Yeah.
Is it from Jingle All the Way?
Yeah.
I think that was the only movie they were in together.
It's on Sinbad's main page, though, because there's like a trailer for Jingle All the Way right next to his face. Maybe you don't see it.
Oh, shit!
What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't remember that at all from the thing. Let me,
He looks like terrified.
Yeah. Hold on, let me try to add a capture into this real quick. So I don't know if anybody can see that. I'm going to try to enlarge it here, but Arnold's face. He's like, yo. Like, Jesus. Maybe I'll keep that up. Well, it's like tiny now. And I just clicked on the fucking... Well, that's great. I clicked on the fucking trailer, and it played on the fucking podcast for a second. Okay. Uh-oh. So, yeah. Anything else before we get this bullshit started?
I don't know of any news that's really
I'm like
doing anything.
Talking about all this fun stuff is actually getting me depressed for what we have to do next. So
we don't have to.
Yeah,
I was putting a gun to your head.
That's true, but I've got like Terminator Dark Fate's fucking logo on the podcast right now, so that's okay.
Uh-oh, that means we're gonna lose money.
I know, right? Okay, so you ready to talk about Terminator?
So we're obligated to see any Arnold movie that comes out in theaters, no matter what. So we saw Terminator 6. And then what happened?
We didn't like it. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, well, so like...
Well, I feel bad because...
It was so long because I got to take a piss.
Wait, what?
Well, like, I was going to say, you said what happened next, and I was like, it was so long I had to take a piss. Yeah. So, like, I went straight to the bathroom, and then I came out, and you and Kevin were outside talking about it, and,
Well, I feel bad because now I know what Wisey must have felt like, because Kevin was, at first he was like, I kind of liked it.
Who said that?
And I was like, I hate it. Kevin did.
Oh,
and I was like,
yeah.
I hated it. I thought it was awful.
Me and you kind of did that with Indiana Jones. We were kind of like all over that shit, and then Wisey was like,
He was like, that was trash.
I've actually had that happen before with like movies where like I was like, I actually kind of like that, and then like somebody like started shitting on it, and I was like, actually maybe I didn't like it. But I don't know. I think at this point maybe I was just apathetic about it until we started talking more about like the I guess like not so much like the flaws, but well, there were flaws, but like the ideas in it just didn't make sense. Some of them, it was kind of like there were better ways to go about it. So, spoiler alert. I guess, I mean, we're going to be ruining the movie, and if you want to go see it,
no, we didn't ruin the movie.
You better watch your ass. No, we're yeah, we're not gonna. I mean, we're gonna ruin the plot, but it's not. You know, this isn't like fucking Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time plot twist at the end of fucking.
Although there's some pretty crazy stuff that happens in this movie, especially if you compare it to the first.
The first one or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so. The way they go.
I hate to be the negative guy, and I can't hate any movie that has Arnold in it. So, because he's great. He's great in this movie.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton's really good in it too.
Yeah, although, and we can talk about that, but I kind of felt bad for her while I was watching this movie, because you could tell she was trying.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
To bring something to it, but it was just like it was bad.
I felt like maybe there were like too many like cooks in the kitchen as far as like heroes in this story, because there were like there was Linda Hamilton, there was like the person that got sent back that was like augmented, there was the person that pretty much became like the new John Connor, and then like I mean they had Arnold there, but it was almost like obviously they had Arnold there just because he's been on all the other ones, which is fine. I'd rather have Arnold there than not have him there, but it was like there were so many it was mainly like the three women. It was like you could have taken like Linda Hamilton or the other person out and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Better at least, because
useless characters.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, cuz yeah. Okay, let's just start from the beginning. Like do you know anything about this movie that like normal people wouldn't know? Like, have you been keeping up on this movie at all? Or?
Not really. I mean, I after the last movie, I was pretty much checked out.
Yeah. But
I did see, once the marketing stuff started happening, that whole trailer with James Cameron. I'll never forget.
Yeah. The one where he's like
just doing his best to like hype it up.
Yeah.
Which I understand. But the way he did it, which was by threatening
the audience,
was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because during the trailer, they would show clips and then interviews with people who were associated with the movie. And he was like, "We're not messing around in this movie. You better watch your ass."
Yeah, I was like,
and I didn't understand what that meant.
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna hurt me? Like, am I gonna get hurt if I watch this movie?
You better watch your ass. I'm like, huh?
But you could tell it was kind of phony.
Yeah, I think I was actually under the impression that he directed this one or something, because well, it's like
he's never gonna direct any movie ever again except for all the Avatars.
Yeah, well, it's weird that he would like. They showed him like on set and behind the scenes and shit, but he's not actually directing it, and he's like, I think that was kind of misleading for me.
He was involved in writing it, which I'm kind of shocked by.
Yeah. I mean, there were
one of the 6 writers.
Not everything in the movie was like absolutely shit as far as like ideas go, but like there was a lot of bad execution. It kind of if you've watched any of the Terminators since the second one, it's like the main villain is a huge issue in these movies. They're all like bland people that have no personality. Like,
I agree.
And I think that's an issue. So we'll get into that later, but I guess
so the Terminator becomes a drape salesman named Carl, which is a logical conclusion to.
But which Terminator?
The character.
Since they just call all of them Terminators, even though
Arnold.
Yeah, the new one they call it a Terminator, even though. Okay, so in this movie they do like a thing where there's no more like what, like Skynet? It's called something else now.
So yeah, it picks up at the end of Terminator 2, where the Judgment Day was prevented.
Yeah, for like, yeah, but at least by fucking that shit.
Yeah, but they just send back another Terminator who murders John Connor.
Yeah, and it instantly happens too. It's not like there's any, like, I don't know. Well, the thing that I just now kind of thought of that didn't really make sense is there's a part later on in the movie where Linda Hamilton kind of breaks down and she's like talking about how, like, you know, her son has been killed, and like she says, you know, oh, I don't know, I might have misheard this, but I thought she said I knew that they sent back multiple Terminators, or they sent back multiple Terminators, and I was like, that can't be right, because if she knew that they sent back multiple Terminators, then why would you just be like chilling? Because they were at like a fucking, like, where were they at? They were at like a fucking place that, like,
they were at like the beach bar from
yeah. Yeah, it was like everybody was just chilling out. And I was like, well, if you knew that, like, there could just be another Terminator that showed up and killed him, why would you be here? Why would you just... Well, she was just chilling. But then she had to, like, a sawed-off shotgun. So it was like... Yeah, it was... it was sad as fuck. Because it was like... This was, like, the worst retcon I'd ever seen. I was like... Okay.
Yeah, that felt kind of lazy.
Oh, yeah, I think that was the laziest part of the entire movie, because... Mm-hmm. I don't know. I also don't like it in movies, series, where they just kind of, like, completely get rid of all the rest of the shit they've done instead of being unique and trying to, like, figure out a way to, like, be like this. Because they already did it by being like, this is an alternate timeline to a degree. So it's like, how would the Terminator exist if this happened, but, like, then all this other stuff ended up happening anyway? It's like...
Yeah. And that's been a problem probably with all the Terminator movies, and really any time travel.
The first two were fine because it was like under one person getting everything together for the most part, but like after that it was just like they were like three, and then it just kept getting worse from there because each new person involved just kind of did whatever they wanted, which is like they have an issue with that with like other forms of media too. Like anytime someone new takes over like writing a comic series, it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. They just instantly undo everything that came before with some weak ass shit.
Yep.
But this was super lazy.
and also the CGI de-aging that they did for that scene, like probably one day they'll get there with like something that looks realistic, but this is nowhere close. It looked like a PS2 cutscene to me.
I mean, I thought that
garbage.
Linda Hamilton and the kid were like really good. I actually thought it was like...
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was stuff that they actually shot at the time. But then when I saw Arnold, I was like, wait a minute, something's not right here. Because they got somebody that was not only like too big, but he seemed a little too tall.
He was too wide.
Yeah.
Like, it was not the same shape.
Which is weird because it's like they have the footage and they also like, I don't know. But like I don't know, I thought their stuff wasn't too bad. I mean, honestly, the kid didn't look too bad. You only saw that for a little bit, but it's definitely
back when there were rumors that Edward Furlong was going to be in this movie. And he kind of was, but only as a CGI character in like one shot.
Yeah,
I was pretty excited about him.
Yeah, you know what's really weird is like, you remember in like 3 when they killed off the mom, like Linda Hamilton, or like said she like died or something. And this one they did the opposite. They were like, he wouldn't come back, so they killed him off.
Yeah,
but she was back, and I'm like, so you could, I don't know. Did he come back for 3, or was that somebody different?
No.
Okay.
It was a different actor. Oh, but But they really screwed up because the very first thing you see in this movie is
Mm-hmm.
a scene from Terminator 2.
Yeah,
She's
where
being
it's
recorded in her like cell
Yeah.
in the asylum.
Yeah.
And she's flipping out, and that scene, like
Yeah.
her performance and like the dialogue in it was so much better than anything that followed in this whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're
It
like,
just made me think about how much better that movie was than this one.
yeah, I mean, it was the biggest. Yeah, I don't know. There was like that, and then the. I don't know. You watch it, and they're like, you see, you're seeing this, and you're going to be getting Linda Hamilton, but she's not in it as much as you think she's going to be in it, and she just keeps getting shit on by like another character in the movie the whole time, even though she's trying to help.
And making little jokes and snarky comments and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine, but I don't think I'm all for having humor in these movies, but I don't think it was handled very well. Like it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And I blame that on the director, because it's the same director that did Deadpool.
I didn't know that.
Which, yeah, I'm personally not a fan of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are, but I don't really find that kind of sarcastic humor it kind of gets old.
I could see
there was some of that in this movie. But I mean, there was some legitimately funny stuff too.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know, it didn't quite hit the right note for me.
Right. So I guess we could talk about what'd you think of the new Terminator?
I've already forgot everything about it because it was so generic and bland.
Who's that actor?
Movie, I already forgot.
Do you know who the
Gabriel Luna?
Which I don't know. I hate to like crap on anybody that was in this movie because
it wasn't his fault.
Right. I mean, like that's the thing is like I'm like I hate saying anything bad about actors because 100% of the time it's not going to be their fault. It's going to be the writers or the directors. Yeah. I mean he's been in a bunch of other really good stuff.
Like he didn't show any emotion, which if that was the goal of the character, then he did a good job.
Right.
But man, it did nothing. It did nothing for me.
Yeah.
Compare that to like Robert Patrick in Terminator 2. Like he was amazing in that movie, and everyone remembers him even now.
He
was so weird and like menacing and creepy.
Right. He's the quintessential like when you think of like. Because you think of obviously like the skeletal Terminators, you think of Arnold. I mean, he's like the Terminator, but like when you really think of like evil Terminators, you think of him because it brought something else. It was like almost like more than his programming. It seemed like he was like he had a desire to fucking like kill.
Yeah, he was like literally evil.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he was so good. Like that character showed up in other movies that weren't even Terminator movies.
Right.
Like wasn't he in Wayne's World?
Yeah. I mean that he was so iconic that like there were other. Like he was in other movies, not as, they weren't like, oh, it's the T-1000, but like it was like, yeah, it was that character because he would like play that same kind of thing like as a joke and stuff, but.
Yeah, and Last Action Hero too.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I mean that's how to do it right, and that's the thing is I don't feel like you can get much better than that. So if they were smart, they would have gone maybe the opposite way and had the character be like, I don't know, more human, like to be able to blend in, but like. Because, so, this Terminator has, like, the abilities to, which it's not called the Terminator, it's called the Rev 9. I had to look it up here. But, this Terminator has, I mean, I'll give it to them, they had some interesting things going on with the Terminator this time, like, the new one, they had, like, a skeletal frame, which was, like, the T-800, pretty much, it was, like, just kind of like the Terminator frame. but then they had kind of like the T-1000 on top of it, and they could separate, which was kind of interesting. I thought that was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it was something different.
Which was
I thought it was kind of weird looking, and
I mean,
I don't know.
Graphics aside, it was a cool thing. I mean, every time you see the skeletal part of it, it actually looks. I think it looks pretty legit. But like, as far as like when it's just walking, because it's not like it has a lot of fun. Like, it's not able to flop all over the place as the skeleton thing, which at least I feel like they kind of like kept that toned down. But like the idea of that was pretty cool. So they had like this whole like thing where it could touch somebody, but like when it touched like the person to gain what they looked like and what they sounded like, it would kill that person. But like, they would be able to always switch into that person. So it has this ability, but it always reverts to its base form. So they know what the base form looks like, but he's not like switching into like possibly any of these other people he's killed to take their like identity to like trick them. So like, I don't know, the T-1000 could like shift into other things and shift into like what was it, like
simple objects,
right, and through things. But this thing had like the advantage of being able to like change what it looked like and stuff, like a human and stuff, and it could copy things and sound exactly like the person. So like, it never did that. It never like switched into like someone else. And like
once it was the dad.
Well, no, I mean like as far as like it never switched into another person more than once.
Yeah.
And like it always reverted to its regular form, and it would switch to this other person like one time, and it would like never switch into someone they didn't know and just come up behind them in a crowd and kill the main person.
Yeah.
So
that would have been hilarious.
Well, they had like all these like ideas, like that would have been a great idea for a Terminator to act like human and have all this charisma and stuff and be able to like just shapeshift and stuff. Like they had all the parts there, but they just fucked it up. It was like maybe they were like, that would be too powerful and how would they ever stop it? But like, they could have had Linda Hamilton have this device that like whenever a Terminator was near, it would like go off. So then they would have to think, oh, like the aliens and like, they would have like the heat sensor and stuff, and you would see them in the vents and stuff. But like they never had any of that. I don't know. This movie was a lot of interesting ideas, but like horrible execution.
Yeah, I agree, and it was really, I mean, everything about it is just a pale imitation of the previous, like Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, it brought some original ideas to the table, but like none of them were
agree.
used. Like
I agree. Like the idea of Arnold, the Terminator basically completing its mission. So what does it do after that? Like that's a cool thing to think about. And I guess what they did with it, which is he just becomes a normal guy and has a family and gets a job. I just didn't buy it at all.
That was actually something I was gonna say was another thing. Like the Rev 9 that was a misstep was in the original, like Terminator 2. He's a reprogrammed T-800. In this one, it's like he just decides that he can fucking, once he completes his mission, that he can go do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And he grows a conscience, or I don't know. He says like,
yeah, he develops emotions and
it's like,
conscience.
well, it's like it's weird because then he says like he doesn't love. He's like, he doesn't love his family because he can't love anything, but he's gonna like help them for like for fucking killing John Connor. And I'm like, dude, you have this in place to actually make this better. Like, why did it have to be the same Terminator that killed Linda Hamilton's son? Like, it could have been one of the other ones that got sent back. That one, once the mission was complete, because they all had the same mission, they could have even done the same shit. But, like, for it to be the exact same Terminator, just so happened to decide to like, I mean, it was supposed to be ironic, I guess, but it came off hollow because it's not like Data where you spent years with this character and it eventually like learned how to like become accustomed to these people and care for them and give its life possibly for them, but it was like it just decided one day that like, oh, these people that I've just met are more important to me than this like family I've like pretty much been protecting for years.
Yeah, I agree. It's totally hollow, and it was kind of played for a joke, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, like, it was
mainly because Arnold's just a fun.
It's like
he's
it was almost like
comedy.
Yeah, his part was like really really good, but it was also like the movie would have been 100 times worse if he wasn't there. But it was almost like it made the whole movie a joke because
right.
his character actually had an impact on how the movie ended. So him being there would have made it so that they couldn't have saved her. But him like being there, it seemed like he didn't give a shit either way. I mean, he was going to help them, but like he's a Terminator, so it's like I felt like he was apathetic towards it, but he was just going to help them to make some kind of like pittance for what he did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, you nailed it after the movie. You said the whole movie should have been about that.
Yeah,
that could have been interesting. If you take James Cameron and you say write and direct a movie about what happens after the Terminator completes its mission, that could be awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it was just handled like really poorly.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause so I'm not trying to crap on the
sci-fi concept.
Yeah, I'm not trying to crap on like the two new people, like that were in the movie and stuff, but like, and they could have possibly been in it too, whatever. But like, if you had just had the Terminator, one of them completed their missions, and then he was like, pretty much like one of the ones that weren't involved, but because he didn't get to it first, and he's like, shit, what do I do? And then years go by and he's trying to, he just tries to go through his life and stuff. And eventually he comes across like Linda Hamilton and she tries to kill him. And he's like trying to explain that he didn't, you know what I mean? Like do it or something. I don't know. You could do all kinds of things with it. I mean, there's just so many possibilities for an idea like that, especially like a character that has no real moral compass unless it's like programmed into them, and then over the years you can see whether or not he stays that way or he's able to like change, because
it's interesting. Skynet
never has shown, there's no compassion for any of those things, but I mean, as far as we know, if they're getting updates all the time and they're being fragged like every 2 years by the Resistance, then maybe they're never given the chance to, like, develop their programming further. I don't know, it just depends. But, of course, they went with, like, we've got... It's, like, the thing they do in every Terminator since the second one. Like, fucking Doomsday has been pushed back by, like, another couple years. They have to prepare for it. And then it doesn't matter because it happens anyway. So it's, like... Either fucking have it end or well it's just like instead of the hopelessness feeling of like Terminator being in the future, it's like throughout all these movies since 3, it's just the entire franchise just feels hopeless because you like, oh well, the last one was fucking didn't matter. The last one before that didn't matter either because it happened anyway. It's like a different faction took over and they did their shit. So it's like, okay, well, if they're going to do it anyway, then yeah, I don't know what to say. Like...
Yep.
It's just like an exercise in futility. I mean...
It is, and it bit him in the ass. Because no one saw this movie. It was a giant bomb.
Except for me and you, Kevin. And that one guy that said he liked this in the theater.
I like this.
What part was that again? Do you remember?
I think it was when they said Skynet, or when they revealed that Skynet never existed, but another similar company cropped up and started doing the same thing, and there's some random guy in the back of the theater just yells or says,
I like this.
Normal speaking voice, I like this.
So yeah, like I don't really understand that, because that was probably one of the things about it I did not like.
Yeah.
One of many.
It was fine, but it was just generic. Like Skynet never existed, and another company that did the same thing called Legion.
Yeah.
Did the same thing.
Right.
And somehow developed all the exact same technology and even made it look the same.
Yeah. And they sent back a possible inferior Terminator to kill Danny.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
So should we talk about what I really didn't like about the movie?
Well, the CG probably.
The action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I
was like, we've kind of talked about CG, but I guess we haven't really gone into it, because man, oh man, you were fucking.
The CG in this movie is trash.
He did not like the CG, folks. That is computer graphics.
I've seen Terminator 2. You know, one of the greatest action movies ever made. Where like, you know, they were driving trucks off bridges and like flying helicopters.
Yes, yeah,
bridges and
I agree. I think I'm maybe just too used to it. I'm too used to seeing fucking bullshit. So it's like,
don't accept it, man. Fight back.
Fight back.
Join the resistance. I mean, this CGI action is unacceptable in my mind. Like
it's too late. It's
a cartoon.
It'll be Skynet, and then it'll be Legion. It'll be new CG forever, brother. I completely agree with you. I just don't know what to do about it. I mean, I'm not in charge.
It's
the only
not gonna
thing,
change, especially
right?
Because it does, you know, eliminate the need for stuntmen to like risk their lives.
Yeah,
it's probably a good thing. People don't get hurt making these movies.
Well, there are certain things that like can be enhanced and helped with CG. I mean, Star Wars for one is one that like, you know, like helping using the lightsabers and stuff, like using the actual ones and then like using the CG to make the actual like blades look better and stuff and all that kind of thing. But like, there's no need to like make an entire movie on computers. I mean, there is, because it instead of having to go set up the shots, your lazy ass can just fucking have everything on a green screen. But like,
yeah, just do what the previs said. Like, it's all previs. Like,
yeah.
The people who, you know.
Well, I think that's
modern action movie now. You just you have a team that does previs and concept art, and the director doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Other than tell the programmers to finish it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I think that's maybe the one of the things that was kind of like upsetting about the original, like the prequels, was like, I knew that like George Lucas was so much better than what, you know what I mean, as far as like he's a great director. I feel he's done some great stuff in the past, and I'm not trying to single him out. I'm just saying, like, when you think of like whole fucking series on a green screen or a blue screen, and you see that, you're just kind of like, okay, this is the thing that comes to mind. But there are tons of movies that do it. I'm not just saying, you know, I'm just saying that, like,
all movies do it now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Big budget action movie, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm done with it. Like, it doesn't do anything for me at all.
I think the issue is like when it comes to like certain movements, like in movies, like it's hard to it's hard.
You mean like scampering up a ladder?
Well,
there's a shot in this movie where the Terminator, the CGI cartoon Terminator, scrambles up a ladder.
The new one, the Rev 9,
like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
I was like, did Hanna-Barbera direct this or what?
I mean, that's the problem, is like there's really nobody can do
Just have
that.
a guy climb up a ladder. It costs nothing.
It would, yeah, I know, but it would
that
look.
Shot probably cost $50,000.
Speed up the footage, monster style.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty funny. I'd be like, huh?
It'd be just as believable. Sick of it.
Well, one, I'd be like, they sped up the footage. The other one, I'm like, this isn't real at all. So.
And why is he dressed like Frank?
Well, my thing is like, okay, so the issue with a lot of this kind of stuff is like, there are certain movements that humans have never been seen to make. So, like, on all fours, for me, like, regardless if it's CG or practical, I'm like, dude, I can't fucking suspend my belief for this. Or if I see someone, like, go up a ladder like that, it's like, huh? Now, if somebody's, like, running really fast, they can pull that off. I've seen that before in, like, stuff, you know, because you just take the background and make it go faster than the person, you know, and they're just making the movements. They do it really well on, like, the CW for Flash, but, like, that's, like, CG done right. Sadly, it's done better than fucking... I mean, it's not always perfect, but, like, it's better than, like... I don't know, some of these Hollywood things where it's like, eh. Then again, I think that, like, running fast is probably one of the easiest effects to do.
Yeah, and probably on that show, they put some time and thought into it. I mean, this is just laziness.
Yeah.
It's taking some previs that some programmers put together and then polishing it up, not good enough at all, and then, you know, shooting it out.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Shoot. They're not shitting it out. They're shooting it out. Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, I miss stunts.
Kevin just chimed in. Are you talking about the #1 movie from the box office week? Yes, we are.
Yes,
We're talking Terminator Dark Fate. Because our fate was sealed when we stepped into that dark theater.
This franchise suffered a dark fate.
At an abysmal 29 million. Yeah, I actually didn't look into any of the gross. I know you talked about it and stuff. It's like,
yeah, they say it'll lose $100 million for the production company, which is actually, like, it's split up amongst many major production companies, which probably tells you something right there.
What do you think most of the money went to, if you had to guess?
Oh, the CG.
So weird that, like, that actually costs money.
And back in the day, Arnold demanded a huge salary, but I bet it's not quite like that now.
Yeah. Story by James Cameron and Charles Egley and Josh Friedman and David Goyer and Justin Rhodes. Screenplay by David Goyer and Justin Rhodes and Jesus Christ, there were like 5 story people and 3 screenwriters.
Yep. That says a lot right there.
Yeah. When you don't have, like, one person doing everything. I mean, not one person, but if I feel like a max you should have for, like, a movie is 2. Maybe 3 if
collaborations can work, but for something like this, there needs to be like there's too many cooks in the kitchen, no doubt.
Yeah. Too many hands in the pot, that's what Kevin said. And I agree.
We both agree. Handle, too cold to hold.
Call the Ghostbusters and they'll fucking make a movie. Coming out November 24th. Actually, when is that movie coming out? I know it's coming out. They're filming it or whatever.
This summer, maybe?
Yeah.
Next summer?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, that's one I'm looking forward to because it's, like, done by Evan Reitman's son, so that'll be good.
Well, I'm wondering if it'll fall into the same traps that this movie and, like, a bunch of others, like Star Wars, fall into.
As far as,
trying to introduce a bunch of new blander characters and pushing...
I don't know. I know that, like, I mean, the original idea for, like... That's always been an idea for Ghostbusters, like, even back in the day, was that, like... And they kind of did it with the Ghostbusters video game, is they, like, had, like, 1 or 2 new people that were going to try to take over, but, like, the rookies were going to have to be taught by, like, the old Ghostbusters and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I think if they get, like, people that people actually care about, like the new people, then it'll work, because everybody already likes the original people. I think that they've got Paul Rudd's on board for it, and I like him. I think he's pretty funny. Oh, yeah. So if he's one of the new people, or
they'll have a bunch of CGI nonsense in it too, like the last Ghostbusters, which was the CGI was not good.
Maybe. I mean, Dan Aykroyd's like really involved with this one this time, so maybe he will or will not. I don't know. I guess it depends on how deep Sony has their fucking hands in it, because I'm pretty sure they were the ones that were pushing for that bullshit. But
we sound like a couple of old men.
well, I mean, I think it depends. It really depends on who's involved and how much love they have for it. I think that his son probably knows what's at stake here, and if he like fucks this up, there's probably not going to be another Ghostbusters movie for a while. And
and he has the examples of the last one to like know what not to do.
Yeah, I think that one wouldn't have been as bad if it wasn't so much CG all over the place. Like, it was just atrocious with that.
Awful. Build a few models.
Yes.
Like they did in the original.
Exactly. I totally agree.
It looks awesome.
You're like, it looks awful. I'm like, no. You're like, I'm the real fucking CG dude here, brother. I've been fucking infiltrating this podcast for the past fucking 40 minutes. I'm like, okay. God.
Linda Hamilton received top billing in this movie, which was a first for her. That's pretty
cool. I saw that. I was reading IMDb here. Yeah, she's got top billing, and then Arnold is second.
Good for her.
Okay, so we got a comment here. I think one of the big things in is the type of comedy. So if you look at the first two Ghostbusters, it is very dry humor, whereas the new one seems more like goofy high school humor.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of the people come from like SNL. Like, I mean, I guess they all came from SNL. Not all of them. Some of them, the original, like Bill Murray and stuff. But they had different humor and stuff back then. Whereas like the new people, like, I think at the time a lot of them also were like on SNL pretty regularly, and like the SNL of now is a little bit different than like what it was back then too. So like you were saying, like the humor is different. I actually have watched a couple episodes of SNL, and like some of it's really good and some of it's really bad, but it really depends on I guess it depends on the skits in general. I mean, I watched some pretty bad stuff back in the day, but like I totally agree. I think there was like some stuff that worked, and then some of it like was like an SNL skit that went too far, and I was like, when is this gonna end?
I also think that like the style of comedy has changed in the culture a little bit over the years, because like driven by things like Family Guy and stuff, there's a lot more like sarcastic and like quippy, like, you know, insult type humor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that the style of comedy has changed over the years a little bit.
Yeah.
Since the original Ghostbusters.
Speaking of shit, do you watch Family Guy?
I stopped a few years ago.
I actually haven't watched Family Guy in years.
I'm not criticizing Family Guy. I think the first few seasons were really funny.
Yeah, I think that was like the only good part about Family Guy was like the first couple seasons. It was pretty revolutionary, and then they got canceled and they came back, and it was like horrible.
I don't even think it was horrible when it came back, but I think it got a little bit worse over time.
It
got a little bit lazier too.
It was very lazy. It was like that's the big issue. That's funny that like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's just a show I don't like watching. It's there's actually one issue I have with both The Simpsons and Family Guy, and like they're kind of the same but kind of different. The Simpsons, I don't like how they've turned Homer into like kind of an asshole. He used to be just kind of like a down on his luck character, but like now he's kind of like he's kind of become like more what like Peter is. Like he doesn't care about
belligerent jerk.
He doesn't care about anybody but himself, but that wasn't what made people like care about like The Simpsons. They liked watching The Simpsons because, you know, stuff would happen to them, and then like Homer would maybe F something up, but it wasn't because he was being an asshole and doing stuff just for himself. He was just kind of like, you know, maybe not the smartest guy.
I don't know. I'm about probably 15 years behind on Simpsons.
Yeah.
So
I've seen a couple episodes recently, and it's not all like that, but like some of it is, and it's kind of hard to watch because it's like when he's a nice guy, it's awesome, but like when he's like a jerk off, you're like, dude, this isn't Homer Simpson. This is like a different character. This is like Peter Griffin in The Simpsons, which I don't know. That's another thing. I don't like watching Family Guy because of how like he used to be like the Homer Simpson character, but after only a couple seasons he turned into like the asshole, and I was like, dude, I can't stand this guy fucking being such an asshole to his fucking family.
That's weird.
You're like, that's weird because I love being an asshole to my family. I'm like, Jesus!
That's weird because you should love it.
It's like, lucky there's an asshole guy. It's like, cool. I've heard South Park stayed consistent. I haven't watched it in like years and years, but
yeah, I really haven't either.
I think that's mainly because I just don't watch comedy stuff all that often on TV. So for me, like, I don't know if something.
I just can't fit it in without watching all the On Cinema universe shows. It's just too much.
Do they even have anything going on right now?
Yeah, there's a season of On Cinema going on.
Oh,
right
okay.
now. It's so good.
I feel like they haven't really
You
been
haven't been
doing
watching?
anything. No, I haven't actually.
Oh man.
They kind of stopped doing shit there for a while because they were making
Yeah,
that one movie or whatever, and then
Yeah, Mr. America.
yeah, and then like I don't know if Decker's dead or what.
I'm hoping there'll be another season after this On Cinema season. We'll
Maybe
see.
they'll have Trip Spencer show up. Trip Spencer's dead. He's
Dude.
fucking never gonna show
He's gotta come back. It's one of the greatest characters ever
up
created.
for that one commercial that like they took down, and you can only find it in like re-uploads. It's like Trip Spencer's the name, and racing's my game. Fucking let me unload a fucking bullet into fucking Tim's ear. He's like, I'm like, Jesus. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. So, what didn't we cover about Terminator Dark Fate? No, it's funny. I told someone at work before we saw it, like, hey, I'm gonna go see Terminator tonight, and he was like, Dark Fate?
Wait.
And I was like, no, a different Terminator movie. So that was a funny reaction, like, oh, Dark Fate?
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Anyways,
Dark Fate?
anything we didn't cover? If there was another Terminator sequel, what would you want to see? What would you want it to be about?
A live action Lady and the Tramp coming out November 12th. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, this is our farewell podcast.
That was actually just the fucking thing on the side of IMDb here that I saw. I was like, okay.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, my problem is like even if they try to like reboot or like retcon shit, it's like too late.
It might be. I think that's probably what'll happen next. Is maybe 7 or 10 years they'll just reboot the first one.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I just don't give a shit anymore. I mean, I haven't given a shit for a while, but I think
sad.
the only thing that I thought would be a good idea was that whole thing about like, the Terminator, kind of like watching him over the years, and I felt like you kind of
cool idea.
You kind of
I
got
never even thought about that.
You kind of got something like that with like Genesis to a degree, but it was so short lived that it was like it went from that to like whatever else happened in that movie like instantly. So
Yeah.
They kind of did the same thing with this one though, where they had like the Terminator over the years kind of like waiting for new Terminators to show up, and like the last one he was like more active in it, and this one he would just send Linda Hamilton out to go kill the Terminators for him.
Send a text.
Yeah. I guess it was the same shit though. Instead, whether it be fucking, it was both Sarah Connor, right? So he would just send fucking, either he would send text to her in this movie in Dark Fate, or in Genesis he would fucking actually go with her, and like they would like lure fucking oh, actually we have a person that says, can you recommend me a good movie to watch before bed? Do you have any suggestions, Matt? What kind of movie?
The Terminator. starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Terminator Dark Fate. It'll put you to sleep.
It'll play you to rest.
With a fucking big thing of milk. I don't understand. People are always like...
I think the original... What's that?
I was going to say, fucking people are always like, why don't you... You should have, like, a thing of, like, warm milk before you go to bed. I'm like, dude, that would make me go to the bathroom, like, instantly. I would have, like, diarrhea. Can't find it in Zamunda.
I'm not sure what Zamunda is.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's located. Star Wars.
It is available on DVD. If you have a DVD player.
Yeah.
People are like, what?
Yeah, I just got like an upside down face.
Well, like I mentioned before, we're two old men.
Oh, like Netflix, but you don't pay, and it's piracy. Oh.
Oh.
Well,
Terminator's not available? That ain't right.
Well, I mean,
everyone should see that movie.
Just go and don't download it, and don't watch it. If it's completely on the up and up.
Yeah, on this show we do not condone piracy.
Yeah.
Let's make that very clear.
But if you are gonna download something, wear a condom. What about Joker? Did you watch it? I did not. I want to see it, but I just haven't got to the theaters. Have you seen it yet, Matt?
I saw it. Yep.
What'd you think?
It was great. I mean, it was really good.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to see it. I just haven't.
Phoenix, like that guy's always good at everything, but.
Oh, excuse me.
But what he did was in this movie was like pretty unique.
What he did was fucking disgusting.
What he did was shameful. He should apologize for what he did.
So we got a thumbs up. Joaquin Phoenix, good stuff. If you're not going to watch Joker and you can't get that, go out and watch this. Wasn't he in Signs or?
Yeah.
Yeah, swing away, bro.
It's great in Signs.
Oh,
He's
thank
an
you.
8mm if you want to get depressed about life.
Dude, that movie was fuck that movie.
I
saw that movie when we see that in high school at our friend's house, and it was like
it ruined the night.
Cool.
So bleak.
Yeah, so that movie's about Nicolas Cage, and he's an investigator, a detective, and he's tasked with investigating whether or not this widow like husband had this film reel, and whether or not this was a real snuff film. And the conclusion will shock you. Not really, because I think it was real or something like that. I can't remember. I just remember it was horrifying. It kind of reminds me of when I watched Pulp Fiction for the first time, and like, what's his face is getting raped.
Yeah, it was fairly upsetting.
Have we seen Sallow? I have not seen that movie. I've wanted to, but I haven't seen it.
I have. It's same boat. Not very fun. Not a
snuff film.
Not a popcorn classic.
Oh, we have a question on what a snuff film is, Matt. A snuff film is it's hopefully these aren't real, but I'm sure they've happened. I'm not sure people filmed them, but it's fucking horrible. It's like people have sex with someone and then they like kill the person after the fact. And that's a snuff film. So
you watch 8mm and learn all about it.
Yeah. And Nicolas Cage is at his finest, out of control. But it's justified in that movie because everything in that movie is like more crazy than Nick Cage somehow. So we got some plot holes here that I looked up on IMDb for Terminator. What a surprise. There are plot holes in this movie. Hold on. Oh, wait. Do you think those bodies in Apocalypse Now were real?
No.
Probably. No.
The cow was real, getting sacrificed. That'll mess you up. You remember that?
Yes. Yeah,
they show a cow getting hacked up, a live cow. That's not good.
Is it a snuff film if you do it? I'm assuming this means, is it a snuff film if you do it with an animal, not a human? I think that's just bestiality, which is like having sex with an animal. But
an animal cruelty.
Yes. So yeah, don't do that. Well, obviously, I don't think I have to say that on the fucking podcast.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Fucking nobody kill an animal after having sex with it, please. Here at the Buddy Shots, we don't condone fucking snuff. All-time top 3 movies you should definitely see in your lifetime? Actually, you'd probably be good at this, Matt. Do you...
I would say The Terminator.
The first?
Dark Fate.
Jesus Christ. No! What do you
But
think?
seriously, I think The Terminator, the original, is one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite. But it's more of a horror movie than an action movie.
It's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth watching. It's influenced so much in pop culture.
Yeah, top 3 movies everyone should see. Predator, Commando, and The Running Man.
So 4 movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with Arnold.
So
especially in Terminator.
This movies all happen to have fucking Arnold in them somehow.
Yeah, there's no
coincidence. I would have to say probably some John Carpenter movies for me, honestly. I'd say probably
good call.
I'd say Day of the Dead, George Romero, the original, not like the remake. The Thing, and I'd say if you could have a collection, definitely John Carpenter's stuff, but I don't know. Like some of his movies, I can watch. I mean, it's not a bad movie. I mean,
I like it.
There are movies I can watch multiple times by him, and some I can go a couple years without seeing. But The Thing is one that I watch pretty frequently. It's a good one. But like Big Trouble in China, I like. But
I'd throw Hard Boiled out there. The greatest action movie ever made.
That's a really good one.
Like you'll see things in that movie that will blow you away.
Yeah, like every shot has a dove in it somehow.
The doves actually aren't too bad in that.
Yeah, they're not. That's just like a trope that everybody brings up. In my opinion, the movie you should watch definitely is Birdman.
Birdman's good.
Your character was obsessed with Birdman in the World War Renaissance movie.
Yeah.
It's straight out of Compton, a snuff film. I never seen that movie before. I've heard of it.
I haven't seen it either, but maybe does someone get killed on screen and for real?
Yeah. I mean, if someone is having sex with and then are killed, then yes, but then it would have to be like for real. But I'm pretty sure that's not happening. Top 5 games of 2010s. Pretty bad about 2010s.
Wasn't there a Terminator Salvation?
Video game? I actually played the Xbox 360 game.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
To get the achievements like a fucking piece of shit. Back when I cared about fucking achievements. What's...
I don't know,
so you're saying like 2010 to like now, I'm assuming, or... Is that what that means, Matt? The 2010s? Yeah. Okay. I mean, BioShock. That's a great game. The first one. Wait, did that come out in the 2010s? Maybe
that might have been before.
Yeah, maybe. We're talking multiplayer stuff. I just play Overwatch pretty much, and that's it as far as multiplayer. But single player stuff, I don't know. Have you played anything recently, Matt? Do you really like?
No.
When did the decline of the Arrow TV show begin? I mean, I've never really watched Arrow. I mean, I watch the crossover stuff on CW, and I watch all the Flash stuff because I really like the Flash, but like, I do not watch Arrow that much because he's too dark for me. As far as like, he's not really that funny, and I like the character, but yeah. And Supergirl's okay, but I kind of stopped watching that show. I do not know when the decline of it began, though. I'm sorry.
Me neither. I haven't watched it. I'm with Martin Scorsese. Anything that's comic book related is trash.
Even Joker?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Inception? Yeah, it's a good one. I think. I've never seen it. I've heard it was good. So The Thing is not too dark for you. I'm talking about, like, as far as his character goes. Like, so...
You got called out.
I did. I must with this fucking kill
Better get your
myself.
story straight.
Shit! This is a deposition. So, no, I'm talking mainly, like, as far as, like, the actual, like... So, like, the movie The Thing, yeah, that's dark. It's very dark. But, like... And I'm not talking, like, thematically. I'm talking, like... Everything in the Arrow seems to go wrong, and that character almost never has any, like, closure. It's kind of like watching Batman, whereas, like, Batman's never going to get married. He's never going to get a girlfriend. Like, in most continuities, he never gets the girl. He barely gets any sleep and shit. So it's like, he's barely holding it together, but he just keeps doing what he does for, like, the selflessness of it. And I think that, for me, that's just kind of depressing. I don't know. It's a good show, though. I mean, I think it's also, like, what they're, like, however many seasons into it, I kind of had to pick one, and I just kept going with the one that was more fun for me, The Flash. So, and I watch those crossovers, and that's, I don't know. That's just how it is.
Cool.
But, okay, so here's a plot hole. Rev 9 uses nanobots to control machines, but does not attempt to use them to reprogram the T-800 Terminator nor Grace's cybernetic enhancements. I actually didn't even think about that, but Kevin actually brought up a good point about how, like, that character can, like, reprogram stuff and use the internet, but it never tries to crash the plane they're in. And, like, all this other shit.
Yeah, someone else pointed out that it shouldn't Arnold in that movie be in his late 40s, not his 70s?
Yeah.
You follow the timeline, which I didn't really think about, but that kind of makes sense.
I didn't even think about this one. Holy shit.
He looks pretty good for 70.
He does. He looks really good. So it says, given the fact that the T-1000 was an advanced model of Terminator and obviously created after the T-800, it would have been unlikely Skynet would have chosen to send back an inferior T-800 to pursue John Connor, even if it ultimately succeeded after more advanced Terminators such as the T-1000 were available. I didn't even think about that.
That's a good one.
Jesus.
That's a good one. Wait, this movie's bad now.
The model of Terminator, Carl, who ends up killing John Connor in the 1998 flashback in the beginning of the movie, wouldn't have been sent back to kill him, as the future with Skynet taking over had been changed due to the events of Terminator 2. The new future would have already been on track to become Legion, who didn't create Terminators with the look of the T-800 model. Chrome's skeleton was Schwarzenegger's feature, even if the erased Skynet future had sent 3 models back from extremely close time points in the future, a more advanced model would have been sent, as the first 2 had failed to change the timeline to get rid of future John Connor.
Yeah, that's the whole time travel paradox thing.
Oh, man.
One that I brought up is Terminator 2 took place in 1991, and John Connor gets killed in 1998 in this movie, but he still looks like a little kid, like he did in Terminator 2, right?
Yeah.
He should have been like 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
Or older.
Thanks for the resubscription.
He should have been in his 20s.
Kevin resubscribed. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so Kevin says, so I heard a review talking about it, and the reviewer brought up a good point. Well, lay it on us. And then, like, he leaves, and, like, everyone fucking signs out. So the future battles from the past, all the Resistance fighters were using old tech and vehicles that didn't really have a lot of tech. Wait, what? But the future battles in this movie shows the Resistance fighters had very high tech.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, that's a good call out. Once again, just more laziness.
Revealing mistakes. Hold on. With the flighting vehicles, gear, and weapons. Yeah. It was like, huh. Oh man. When Alicia says goodbye to Carl and gets into her car, she appears to accidentally nudge Carl with the car door.
Seriously?
Yeah, that was a revealing mistake. I'm like, huh? Who gives a shit? That's the thing that I was pissed about in this movie.
That's the final straw.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk out of this theater. I saw someone get nudged.
Grace has incredible strength, speed, and agility is able to go one-on-one with the Rev 9 Advanced Terminator. Yet, there are several scenes where Grace visibly struggles to restrain Danny, a slight human female much smaller than her.
That's pretty good.
Sarah Connor states that she is wanted in all 50 states and was subject of an entire America's Most Wanted, but doesn't explain how she managed to cross the border with 2 cars and an entire arsenal of weapons.
Yep.
Carl, the T-800 living in society after completing its mission, would be easily recognized and wanted by authorities for murdering John Connor in 1998, destroying Skynet in 1992, and killing 30 LAPD officers in 1984, all with multiple witnesses. He would not be able to own and operate a drapery business. I like how they put that there at the end. He would not be able to own and operate a drapery business.
He'd be able to operate it, but not own.
Own an operation? Fuck that! No way in hell! But the real question is, are snuff films real?
And I think that's an appropriate way to end this episode.
To end our lives. Just kidding, don't do that. Don't kill yourself. So for the second movie was caused by leaving the advanced tech behind for the creators of Skynet to find. So the second movie was caused by leaving the advanced tech behind for the creators of Skynet to find. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like implications with that. With we were talking. I mean, mainly you guys were talking about that. Like, if no one's really going back to like get rid of the Terminators and shit like that. Like, even if it's not like someone's going to create a new Skynet, it's like somebody could get a hold of like all that technology and just become unstoppable. Like, I don't know. If a criminal organization got a hold of that, like, that would be fucking horrible. But yes. Oh my. I don't know if Matt's still here or not.
I'm still here.
Okay. I'm still here. I'm still here. So, anything else left to say? Do you have any?
I think we've beat that dead horse pretty good.
On
to the next victim.
Yeah, I don't know. What's next week going to be about?
Terminator Genesis.
It's just going to be the Terminator podcast? Yeah, fuck that. We'll come up with something and then kind of get back to you guys. But yeah, it's a pretty good first episode of the new.
It's been fun.
You're like, and now it's fucking over forever. Like EMP my house. I'm like, fuck.
Delete the files.
Delete the fucking files.
Well, it's been fun.
Yeah, man.
We should try again next week.
Yeah.
Try to do better.
We got quite a few people in here, honestly, at one point. We had in all those people asking us questions and stuff. I'd say a success, man.
Yeah.
I'd have to say that, like, you know, I was doing the, what was it? Crap. Well, I guess while I'm thinking about that, did you have anything else you want to say?
Nope. I'm good. I'm out.
Okay. That's good. No more things to say for you, huh? None.
Terminator Dark Fate is a great.
All I have to say is I had this one client who wanted to do their kid's room, a little girl, in all one color. I said, "Don't do it."
Sadly, the best line.
Dude, that was by far the best line. There was this part in the movie where where before like they meet this contact, Arnold is talking to like Linda Hamilton and like the other two people there. And he's like telling the main girl about like this customer he had as like a drapery person and shit. And he was like he's just like telling him like, you wouldn't believe how much like making the wrong decision in like you're in a room will destroy it or whatever, ruin everything. And then he said that and we were like, I was cracking up. I was like, okay, this isn't really worth going to see this movie, but it like made the movie 100 times better.
I was just like, yeah, so this is where we're at. The
yeah.
Franchise, huh?
Oh yeah. I was just like, this isn't as bad as like a fucking. I mean, I don't know. Okay, one last question. How do you feel as far as like, you know, like obviously, the Terminator has had comedy before, like in the second one, but how do you feel that like stacks up to like the ridiculous comedy, like the SNL skits that won't end of like some of the Marvel movies where you're like, ugh.
I don't know. I think that.
Like, do you think it was unwarranted or?
No,
like this time?
I think it's just about hitting the right tone, and it didn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, really? This is
happening.
This is happening.
All right. That's how I felt like when we went and saw. There were like certain parts in I forget what movie we watched. It was like a Marvel movie, and I was just like, wow, this is happening right now. This character is officially crossed over into like. Jesus Christ. Will you say that's the worst movie you've seen on opening night?
I'm struggling to think of the worst one. It was pretty awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm like, please, Mike Myers, make an Austin Powers 4 so that you can fucking wash that shit out of your mouth. You're better than this. Okay, well, thank you for joining the Buddy Shots podcast, the first episode, and there will be many more. And yeah, I'm gonna keep.
Thank you.
Oh yes, I'm gonna keep streaming and probably playing some games here. Are you? What are you up to tonight, Matt? Are you done or?
I'm probably done.
He's done. He'll
take the dog out.
Take the dog out. You like fucking destroy it. Put that dog out or I'll put you out. Okay, cool, man.
All right, I'm going to sign out.
Okay.
It's been Reed.
Yeah. This is Reed. Cool. See you later. Cool. So, successful first podcast, guys. Thanks for coming by, and gals and everybody. I'm going to switch over and play a game here. I don't know, maybe I'll play some Dragon Quest here. Let me remute YouTube because I don't want that to be an accident and it accidentally like comes through here. Play Dragon Quest Builders 2. I can't spell word crap, but whatever. Who gives a crap at this point? Okay, so let's switch over to PS4 here. Hope everybody had a good time. Feel like that was a good one. Let me write down that. Let's see, was that that was like an hour and 25 minutes, I think. That way I'll remember what when it started and all that fun stuff. Thank you for the subscription, Yurimatsu. I thought I said that before, but I might have effed up. I'm sorry if I didn't. You went and saw Terminator with us, and I'm sorry. So very sorry, sir, about such a thing. Let's see here. Burn. I thought there was an article that came up that was like, why did Blizzard go dark for Diablo 4? And I'm like, probably because Diablo 3's visuals sucked. 2 was like way better, but you know. Just a guess. Good Lord. I'm like, can we get some loading in here? Just sitting here loading. Okay, I was gonna say, hopefully this didn't freeze. I just realized I'm still in Discord. Okay, so